A deeper dive into Fimir Warriors, plus the great weapons. For my Marauder Spearmen video, someone replied, you should recruit them preferably never, and you should rather recruit Fimir great weapons instead. That's a bit of an unfair comparison, okay. But let's revisit these units, plus the Regiment of Renown, in light of Tides of Torment. Recruited for 1200 gold and 300 upkeep, it's important to emphasize Fimir Warriors are recruited from the Fimir and Monsters chain building that costs up a noble at tier 2 and nothing else, Dreadmaws at tier 3, and it is beyond the normal tier 3 building. You can get the Chimera and the Chaos Frost Dragon and the Great Weapons Fimir Warriors. So, tier 3 Fimir Warriors recruitable. That's our starting point. On Ultra scale, you get 16 warriors and 8,224 health between them. This is going to remind about trolls, though they do not come from the same building. Armor is 110, which is a formidable level that will laugh off considerable amounts of damage. Missile resistance 25% is the start and not the end of their ability to laugh off more ranged fire, which is a huge weakness of the faction generally. Leadership starts at 70, speed starts at 45, charge speed at 65. This is not as fast as trolls. Melee attack starts at only quote-unquote 30, and is both magical attack and inflicts sundered armor, reducing enemy armor by 30 for 10 seconds. Attack interval 3.8 seconds is a little better than usual. Splash a good size medium means Knights of the Realm on down, and max Dragon Splashed is 4. Like the original Trolls, original Kroxigors, and higher than almost all Ogre units. Melee defense starts at 42, which is very good for a monstrous unit. Weapon strength starts at 100, which isn't that good at all. It's only as good as original Trolls. But Ice Trolls, Stone Trolls, and a lot of other stuff will outstrip them in raw offense. This number is split base 32 and armor piercing 68. This means that about 1/3 of their damage will hit somewhat harder against a well-armored target through sundering, whereas 2/3 won't care. Other parts of your army doing high base damage will care a lot. There is a bonus versus infantry of 15. This bonus, like with original Kroxigors, is basically the only thing that puts them on the map against more elite infantry without special boosting, but we'll get into that. Melee attack 45 versus Jade Warriors at rank 0 isn't bad. Charge bonus is 30, and mass is 1500 like Trolls. The unit can hide in forest, causes fear, is a siege attacker, and has the From the Mists passive, so that if leadership, which isn't that low at all here, is over 50% of base, then it's an extra 25% missile resistance, and resistance means reducing damage by that amount. So 50% total means arrows, silver bullets, and cannonballs all do half damage from what they would do normally, and normally means considering the armor. That means they will still do half their damage, so enough fire and it's still bad. So how do the great weapons change it up? Recruitment cost of 1300 and upkeep 325 is barely higher. Stats are completely the same, no shields to have stopped using after all, until we get to attack interval, the standard 4 seconds. So melee attack of 30 is retained. Splash rocket size is still medium, so they will not splash trolls or crypt horrors, and max target splashed is 2, so they'll do more damage to fewer targets, if Reichsguard or Empire Greatswords. Melee defense 32 is a full 10 lower than normal, which is basically the big shortcoming of the unit. It also loses the bonus versus infantry in favor of bonus versus large 25, a fat and large bonus, making the melee attack 55 versus Chaos Knights at rank 0. Charge bonus of 35 is 5 better, and mass is 1500 again. The traits and passive are the same and all, but the impact on the faction and the game are massive. This is a complete anti-dragon, anti-giant, anti-mounted lord solution. They will beat the stuffing out of all of those things. Sundering armor to help to boot, and Sundering is compatible with Plague of Rust. The Mist Stalkers for 1450 gold and 362 upkeep come in a rank 9 state with leadership 80, melee attack 38 or 8 better, melee defense 52 or 10 better, and are based on the default anti-infantry unit. The unit has Vanguard deployment, Stalk, and causes terror, in addition to the old From the Mists. but in the long run, the importance is coming instantly at a rank 9 state and causes terror. In the red line skills, Monsters of the North at 3 pips gives melee attack plus 6 and melee defense plus 6. Since melee attack is a sore point, all of this is super valuable, but what's equally important is that they do not use Trolls or Skin Wolves redline skill here. Hulks of Death would add to rank 7 ones and up and the Regiment of Renown for armor plus 12, weapon strength plus 12%, and ward save 8% to delete a little more damage from missiles or anything else. In the tech tree, natural selection gives recruit rank plus 1 and leadership plus 4, occasional appeasement, which comes after the main troll pip in this mini tree, grants melee attack plus 4 and weapon strength plus 10%. So the redline skills are split in the 3 pip section, but here you must improve trolls to get to Fimir. Violent Evolution adds plus 10 armor generally, and they start with 110, and adds 15% more missile resistance, but only if it's the ROR or the unit is rank 7 or... After a whole lot of checking, I found it is the Greenskins defeat tech, Slaughtering of the Greenskins, which adds plus 10% weapon strength to Fimir, along with the traditional monster units, and no other tech affecting monsters affects Fimir. It's limited to this. On the other hand, this is all Fimir wanted for Christmas. They hit harder. So let's revisit the Fimir Noble video brief. Shrouding Miss, his full-time passive, adds plus 10% missile resistance and plus 5 melee defense within 35 meters. This radius will expand by 35% with the personal capstone. The other bonuses to Fimir Warriors are Unyielding Assault, for 0 reduction in melee attack from fatigue or any other source, and Stalk, so the non-RORs can still get Stalk that way. You can further add Scylla and Figrim's legendary item for 10% army-wide missile resistance, and Nurgle Marauder Chieftains can get an army-wide boost there as well. 85% is the cap for any single resistance, I believe. So when should you recruit Fimir Warriors? This part isn't complicated in a sense, but being able to afford enough of them may take time. This is a unit that does so many things to aid your army as a whole, and doesn't require crazy micro to do it. You should take the regular without compunction, and use great weapons for elite anti-monster work. Remember, these are not fast. They need a brawl. And you'll see in the footage that chasing Reiksguard is not really easy for them. So I gave them a bit of a rough situation here to work with, but in the brawl, they are absolutely wonderful. The point is that you don't need to doomstack them to get results. Just having 1 or 2 units will greatly increase a general army's hitting power, and that is worth the trouble. But getting there means going through the spoils system, and committing to not just going after nobles and monsters, but unlocking Bale Fiends at a certain level, or rather tier, and that is tier 4. What you do with the unit is push. Even if it has to hit a unit of spears, it should push and get into messy melee. The charge bonus is nice, but it won't make or break the unit. You need to pin, to crush, and to create the conditions for the rest of your force to catch up if slower, to maneuver if faster, and to smash if of similar speed. In addition to what we already went over, Skin Wolf Werekins can add area effect melee attack or melee defense and armor, so you can get to the point Fimir are basically invulnerable to anything that isn't armor-piercing. Just remember, Throg can give them regeneration, others generally won't. So, to start you off, you should recruit Fimir Warriors whenever you can finagle a tier 3 building of the chain somewhere, anywhere. Getting a Dreadmaw too will challenge your budget, but even with just 1 unit, plus a Fimir Noble hero in the same battle space, you have quite a mutually supportive Death Ball, and that's only 10% of your total army. So, build around the Death Ball, use it as your fighting core. Take care, and have fun smashing Order in the face. There won't be much of a face, or a skull left after you do that, but that's the idea.